All right. Thank you for tuning in. I'm breaking down what edge rushers you should be following at the combine. As I said in some previous videos, there's a lot to watch at the combine, right? A lot of stuff's going on, a lot of drills are happening, and there's so many players, drill after drill. And it's hard to follow who I should watch and what should I watch for? What should I get excited for? What should I make sure to pay extra attention for? So just going down the list saying, which edge rushers have the most to prove, which edge rushers may be fun to watch, and if you're a fan of a team who's selecting an edge rusher, maybe in day two, maybe early day three, you should tune in. And if you're following a prospect and hopefully, maybe you've put a bet on him being a first round pick already, or maybe you're just hoping he's a first round pick. The combine is usually the make or break for these type of things. So actually, the guy I want to start with is a sleeper, and I think there's this main group of top 100 edge rushers, and then there's a few guys on the outside who could sneak in. And the guy highlighting that group for me is UCLA's Gabriel Murphy. He had excellent tape. He showed a lot of pass rush promise, and he had an excellent Shrine Bowl. So there is this top 100 group that I'm going to break down, but if there's any player who could break into that group with a stellar combine, it's Gabriel Murphy. And actually, it's quite a shame that his twin was not invited, because you can't invite one twin to the combine and not invite the other. So let's just jump into the rest, right? At the top, you got Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, and Liatu Latu. I think those three guys are in a class of themselves as the edge rush class, and all of them have a chance to really stand out. Liatu Latu, the big thing is medicals, right? That's something that we're not going to be able to watch live, of course, but the rumors will come out. You know, Adam Schefter will come out with if he's a red flag, green flag, how do his medicals look? Because he could fall late in the first if they realize that the reason that he had the career-ending injury in the first place is still there. So he has big medical questions, and then he also has some questions as an athlete. So he could prove those wrong and go somewhere in the top 10, or he could fall behind a freaky athlete like Dallas Turner or Jared Verse in the draft. And Dallas Turner and Jared Verse have a lot to show just in terms of proving that they could be that edge one, because we don't have that Will Anderson this year. So one edge is going to have to be taken first, but teams might be wary of taking an edge in the top 10 if they don't produce amazing combine stats. So Dallas Turner, I would say, has the best chance to do that. I would say Chop Robinson from Penn State, another guy who's a freaky athlete, probably the best release in the class. Get off is fantastic and just wins off the snap. And that translates directly to 10-yard split, 40 time, and verticals. So in terms of player who you can guess to be in a 95th percentile, 9.5 RAS, I would say Chop Robinson. And then you got a few later guys. Chris Braswell had a disappointing Senior Bowl, the edge rusher from Alabama. He wasn't too dominant, and there's some up and down. I've seen people put him in the back end of the first. I've seen people put him all the way in the third round. And again, anytime a guy's on the fence, he could make or break his stock. He could make or break millions by proving to everyone that he is a first-round talent. He is a first-round athlete. The surprise of the Senior Bowl, Darius Robinson, the edge rusher from Missouri, he was just beating everyone left and right. No one could stop him. And he's been on the rise. He's jumped up, 30, 40 spots in some mocks. Right beforehand, I was seeing him in day 3, and now you could pencil him in, maybe at the end of the first to the Niners, maybe at the end of the first to the Eagles. You never know. You never know if a player like him comes and shows up, has amazing combine. He's super fun to watch. He's a guy you have to look out for. You have to be watching, especially during his vertical drills, and if he does the 3-cone during the 3-cone. Braylon Trice from Washington, he was a star. He was honestly the key defensive player who got them to the championship. And while his tape was amazing, he won Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. He was arguably the most productive pass rusher in college. There are some athletic concerns. There are people concerned that he doesn't have the arm length, right? I think he's slightly under 33, which is usually the threshold. And he lacks the natural fluidity, and he lacks the lateral bend. Right? He's taller. He's like 6'5", but he doesn't have the freaky athleticism of honestly any of the other edges I've mentioned. Right? He's probably an average edge athlete, so he could prove himself, right, or he could fall, down to the third round. As I said before, NFL loves athletic edge rushers. If you're an edge rusher, you're facing against these amazing NFL offensive linemen, you have to put fear in their eyes every time you line up, because of your get off, because of your speed to power, because of how you could dominate off the line and win with a multiplicity of athletic traits. And then my favorite edge rusher in the class right now, who I'm loving, is Jonah Ellis from Utah. I'm actually putting out a profile on him right now, so you can check it out. And He's honestly in a similar class to Breland Trace, where he recorded 13 sacks in 11 games, All American, but there are some athletic concerns. So Braylon Trice and Jonah Ellis, two players with amazing tape, and hopefully they could back it up with an amazing combine performance as well. Another guy, Brandon Dorlus from Oregon. Fantastic player. People thought he was going to come out last year, and he didn't. So he returned, he got even better, had a good Senior Bowl, and he's a senior, right? He's a senior and he's a tweener. So people don't know if he's going to play edge. People don't know if he's going to play defensive lineman. So watch what he comes out as. Watch what he weighs as. What he weighs at. I think it comes out on Wednesday for the edge class. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. And then once he, gets his weight, if he weighs in like a defensive end, make sure to compare him to the defensive end. And if not, make sure to compare him to the edge rushers. Sorry, to compare him to the defensive lineman. And the last guy on my list, Marshawn Nealand, the heavy-hitting, massive defensive end from Western Michigan, blew up the Senior Bowl, was fantastic, has been great so far in every pre-draft measurable, and he's coming to the combine to make a point to say, even though he played at Western Michigan, he proved at the Senior Bowl that he belongs with NFL talent, and he can prove it once again at the combine. So a lot of very interesting prospects from the edge class, a lot of guys who have a lot at stake, a lot of players who have doubts, have a lot of concerns that they could hopefully quiet. And then at this, I would say, top of the second round, there's a bunch of players. I didn't even mention a guy like Adisa Isaac, a guy like Austin Booker, who could make themselves known, could jump up. Right, you have this every single year. A guy comes in, explodes the combine, and maybe even makes it into the first round. So if you're a team in the back end of the first, you got to be watching this edge class. And we'll be there. Toilets of titles. We'll be tweeting at everything. We're putting out the top 10 players to watch at every position at the NFL Combine. So make sure to check it out and enjoy.